Hey, welcome back to another web development video. Today I'm talking about generality and software engineering, specifically from a CS 101 or CS 50 level, mostly for people that haven't heard of generality before. You know, what is it and kind of what are the principles that kind of surround it. So I'll start off with a couple of definitions that I found that are a little wordy, and then I'll kind of go through and explain in English. So definition one, generality can be characterized as a state or quality of being not limited to one particular case. And definition two, the principle of generality is important in designing software that is free from unnatural restrictions and limitations and that survives beyond its expected lifetime. Okay, so in English, what does that mean? It means that software should be designed so that it can handle changes easily. So it's a flexible, durable product. It's not brittle. It's not going to break when some things around a piece of code change. So a classic case of this is a Y2K bug. That's where the year 00 could be interpreted as 1900 instead of 2000. In the case of the Y2K bug, people were concerned that software that would break because it would think that 00 is 1900. So it's gotta handle 00 as 2000 and not as 00. So if software is not generalized, then you have to potentially develop some similar solutions, redevelop code. So generality then, it can be thought in a couple of ways. Can the problem or feature be solved with another solution? So can you reuse some other solution you're currently using? If so, then that other solution is probably already using the generality principle, or is a good example of it. And you can also think about generality in the sense of, is the feature able to solve multiple problems? So, and if so, it should be a good generalized solution. It most likely is, if it can handle multiple issues and be flexible. So there's some benefits of generality. It makes software more reusable because the software can easily be adapted. It makes software more reliable because it's more flexible. Software can be developed faster because it's less specific. And software can be developed at a lower cost because, again, it's less specific. So those are some of the benefits of it. So in real world, code-wise, you can think about this in the sense of using a for loop and all the restrictions in a JavaScript for loop, all the restrictions that you might end up using and problems you might run into if you're using, if, for example, in your for loop, if I is less than 4 versus I is less than the array length. Think of all the problems that you could run into with that. What happens when your input array is longer than 4? What happens if it's 5 or 10 or 10,000 or whatever it is? Basically, that software is not flexible. That's why you'd want to use the array length. You know, I is less than the array length, and that way make sure that you're flexible enough to handle all of the array length. And you can take this a step further and think about using things like map and stuff like that with JavaScript to get even a better solution than just using iterative solution. But that's pretty much it in a nutshell. It's just making software flexible so it can use, you know, different outside inputs and have things change around it and not break, right? You want it to be flexible so it can work better. And that's generality kind of in a nutshell. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you subscribe. And otherwise, I'll see you next time.